going to learn about async first. Async JavaScript. It's very important to learn about async JavaScript. What is async JavaScript? See, by default, what happens? Your JavaScript is a single-threaded language, but it is very effective. It is in fact the second most powerful language for a backend development like Node.js. Backend development, not like Node.js. With Node.js, it is the second most powerful language. Means Java is the most powerful language because of its multi-threading. But even with the single thread, it is very powerful. Means it's more powerful than Python and all those things which are used for a backend development like Django and all those things are used. Django and Flask. It is much more faster than that, and that's why it is used in the startups a lot. That's why the full stack developer with React and Node.js are in high demand. So that is there, and we are going to learn about this async thing. So let us do that, and let me share my screen. I'm sharing my screen, and again we are going to do it with your this JSBin again, old JSBin. Okay, so let us start with the JSBin. So as I've told, this async things are actually done by something known as a callback functions in JavaScript. And callbacks are actually very old, from 1995. They are there, but there are some new ways are also there, which are like your promises are generally resolved in two ways. Means one is a then and catch block, and one is the async await. And one thing I want to tell to now, whatever I'm going to tell, most of them I will tell which part belongs to the backend and which part belongs to the front end. Okay, so that I will tell. Okay, so let's get started. And first thing which we are going to learn first is that the problem statement. We are going to learn what is the problem statement, so that we are going to do. So now here is like, okay, so async, yes. So JavaScript and output I have. So what is this output? So whatever is this in HTML, CSS, JavaScript is there. So whatever the output will be there, that is the output. But I don't want the HTML and CSS, only the JavaScript I require. So here what I'm going to do, we're going to mimic, suppose there an API endpoint is there. So we're going to mimic that. Suppose there is a const post is there, which is a array of object. What I'm doing, array of object, which is like, oh, what is happening? My keyboard is nuts. Huh? Why my keyboard is behaving like that? Oh, my shift has gone. Oh no, my shift is behaving like this. Okay, now it is okay. I think something was there inside that title, and yeah. Okay, no way. One sec. I'm using this in the Safari for the first time. I think Safari is not working well. So I will close the Safari and open it in some other browser, which is the Firefox Developer Edition. No problem. JSBin, JavaScript and output. Login to GitHub, and it is done. Okay, sync this. See, even the Safari is causing a problem in this. Const, maybe it's time to leave this Mac. See, that was a problem with Safari. This is way too weird. Okay, title is like, yes, I have to create a video, although I don't like to create videos like this. This Mac is giving away a lot many problems, and it's the new M1 Mac. And So I'm mimicking API call. So mimicking an API call, I'll tell how I am mimicking an API call. So array of objects, which I'm going to create an array of objects. So like this summary, and this post contains basics or chase, something like this. Okay, I'll do it. Control C, Control V, and then this be DOM basic. This post contains the basic of DOM. So I have an array of object, which is the most common form to transfer data in from API endpoint. So from an API, in API we create through array of objects only. Means you go to the JSON placeholder and all this. I've shown so many times. They're all done through this array of objects only. That data travel in the internet like this. So now we'll have a function get posts I'm going to have, and this is not a normal function. As I've told, I want to mimic the API and here this will be 1000. Okay, 1000 is there. Oh, 1000 1000 millisecond, which is like 1 second. Okay, then let output equal to like this. Then so what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell right now. The main thing is that this get post will run after 1 second, whatever is there inside it. Then inside it, what I have a post dot for each, post dot for each post, and output plus equal to h4 dollar post dot title, and h4 p dollar post dot summary, and p will be there. Okay. Then so what I have just done. Okay, so post dot for each. Okay, for each I have briefly shown in the previous class also. So for each is something which you're going to learn in ES6. Maybe tomorrow we are going to learn. For each is a very powerful like a for loop which can be run in any array. So it runs only in the array. So what I'm doing here, this post I'm taking, post is anything, means the main thing is this post dot for each. This can, I can write this as item also. So when I write this post, it will get each one of the object. So it is getting the first object. Then I'm doing output plus equal to this. So output is initially this empty string, so plus equal to this I will going to do. So the this in the h4 js basics will come, and this things will come. Then in the second iteration it will add the same thing here. Okay, so I want to show what generally comes like this, console.log of output, because we are changing the output. We are changing the output. Okay, so I'm going to show this thing, and to run this thing is very easy. We are going to come here and do a get post. I'm going to do. Okay, so this is like this. We are going to run, but we have to see the console also. Okay, so let us see, run it now. After 1 second, it will run. Okay, it is giving me error. Okay, what error? What is the error? Post is plus equal to h4. H4 is there. P. Uh, uh, okay. Get posts. I'm doing. Okay, summary is not defined. Okay, somebody spelling is SUMM. Let me copy this thing everywhere. Now it should come, I think. Yeah, now it is coming. See, let me open it from here. Console. Let me run with JS. See, after 1 second it is coming. See what is there now. This output. Now this output have this a big string. It has got h4 JS Basics P. It has got an h4 like this. See, one more thing is that in the HTML we give everything in a very intended way. It is not require accuracy that h4 should be like this. Okay, it should be. It can be in one string also. So I have this big string right now. I am getting a big string with this right now. Now what I will do, I will put this in the document dot body dot inner html equal to output. The output I'll do document dot body dot inner html equal to output. Body means just this body is anyways empty. Body dot inner html, so I'm putting it inside this body. Okay, so that is done. Now if I now run it, after 1 second the body it will be shown like this. But everything is not easy that much. Means we are what we are going to do now, we are going to come here and do a function create post and post and set time out and like this. 2000 is like this. Post dot push post. So what I'm doing here, there is another function known as create post. It will run after 2 seconds. So this is around 1 second, this will run after 2 seconds. And I am passing some post here, which it will push in this thing. So post, I have to pass it right now. So I will go here and do a create post. I will do. Then I have to pass something here. So I'll go here and do the ASYNC async basic post contain the basic of ASYNC async. Okay, so now I put this thing. Okay, so which is being good, this post will go here and it will push it there. So let us see whether it will run or not. After 1 2 seconds, after 2 seconds it will done, but it will not insert this thing actually. So why it is not inserted? This is but obvious why it is not inserting. See, first this get post will run, and after that only this create post will also run. But this get post will actually be run after 1 second. So after 1 second it will run, and this after 1 second to run, and it will do this thing. Okay, document body in a HTML output, it will produce it. After 2 seconds it will go and add that thing. But by that time everything is been done in the DOM. We have not we are not running get post after that. Everything is been done at that time. So that's why we will never see this async basic. Okay, so to solve this thing, there are three ways to solve this thing. Okay, so first way is the callback thing. Callbacks are there as from the means, as I'm telling, callbacks are there from 1995. Okay, so this is there, and there was a problem with callback known as callback hell. You can search on the internet for that. So callback hell is there. That was a problem with callback, and that's the reason 2015 promises were invented. Promises were introduced, whatever they invented it. Okay, so that is there. So they might have invented it anyways. So this posts is there. So how we will fix it? How we're going to fix it with callback? Callback. We're going to fix it with callback. Okay. So here, what we're going to do? First, in this post, I'm going to have another. And first thing is that I'm not going to create the call the callback like this. Okay, get post. Then I will have a callback like this. Callback, or you can write something like fn also. Fn also you can write. Okay, or call back like this I'll do, and then call back this I'll do. Okay, so now what? So now it is accepting a second parameter. What is that second parameter? The second parameter is actually the get post function. Get post function. Second parameter is the get post function. So the first parameter is this, second parameter is the get post function. So now see, now what will happen when this program will run, it will come here, come to the create post, come to the create post. Create post will give this first parameter is a post, and the second parameter is a get post. So it will come here, set timeout, run after this, it will post, it will post dot push into this, it will push that thing. After 2 seconds it will push, of course. Then after that this callback will be done. So now if I run it after 2 seconds, oh, okay, it's not coming. One sec, sometime there is an issue here. Okay, sometimes this JSBin causes a lot of issues. Okay, yeah, it is coming now. So after 2 seconds it is coming. So this is what, this is how it is solved with the callback. So now the next thing is that as I've told, there is a problem with the callback hell. I'm not going to tell about that. What is a callback hell? You can learn about that from the internet, that is there. And the other thing is that how in 2015 promises were introduced. Okay, and one more thing I want to tell, this till this much code is generally, it will be done by the backend code, means node.js kind of thing, and this kind of thing will be done by the front end, like vanilla JavaScript. We're doing in vanilla JavaScript only, or like React.js and all those things. Okay, so now we are going to learn about the promises we're going to learn. So I'll do JSBin JavaScript and output. Okay, so again I'm going to copy all of these things, because all of these things will be like same only, some things will be different. And auto run I don't need, and I am going to look into the promises. And promises also, there are two things. Okay, then dot dot catch, then and catch block we're going to do. Okay, so that is there. Now this thing will be same only, get post will be same. Whatever the differences will be there will be in the create post. Okay, so first thing is that we won't have something like this, we won't have the callback function also like this, so we won't have this thing. Okay, so now what we are going to have, we are going to have a promises. Okay, so we're going to have here like return new promise. What are these promises? Promises are the new age thing. Like what happens with the promises, it is like the promise which you do, promise is like the promise in the real life. Okay, so here come here, promise is there, and in the promise we'll have something known as resolve reject. We're going to have this thing, resolve reject. Then this set timeout is there. In this set timeout I have a post dot push. So promises are something like promises in real life. When you do some promise, you'll either resolve it or you will not do it, means reject it. So promise also send either resolve or reject, but I have to send some of that thing, resolve or reject, but I'm not sending anything here. So let us send a resolve or a reject. But how? But in most big projects, what will happen? There will be some condition which will be checked, but we don't have any condition to be checked. So what we will have a dummy condition like a thing. Okay, so I will have a const num equal to 5, and then num is greater than 4, which is true. I'll get this ternary operator, then resolve like this, or reject error, something is wrong. Error, something is wrong. I'll have. So promises, in this case the promise will send a resolve. And what happens, there are two ways to do that thing after that. Okay, promise is sending a resolve, then the one way is then and catch way. And as I've told, this much code is a backend code, this is a front end code. Okay, so then will be there is a then and catch block. So there is a then is there, so I'll do a dot then, and that will be get post, and then will be dot catch yara document dot body dot inner html equal to dollar $ERR is there. So now what will happen? Now what will happen when this program will run, get create post, and create post, it will go here and the post will run and the promise will run. Promise will run here, do the post dot push, it will push it there. Then it will see this thing, num is greater than 4 is true. Then it will send the result. When it sends the result, this then part will be executed. So it is like a pairing. When the resolve is sent, then a then is executed. When the reject is sent, then the catch is executed. So now the then with resolve is been sent because this is true. Then the get post will run and then it will show us all the three things. So I will run it. After 2 seconds, it is done, guys. So this is how it runs. And this is, if there is error, we are going to show that error. So let us do that error. So I will do a 4. 4 is not greater than 4. Okay. So I'll run it. So this reject will run right now. I'm giving it a turnover. Reject will run, and then the catch part will run here. Catch part will run here. Like this. Okay. So that is there. How it works. Now one more thing is there. Okay. So one more thing is there, which is known as async await. Okay, async await is there. So there is actually another way to do this thing. Okay, and do this thing in the sense, this whole pattern was created in was introduced in JavaScript in 2015 with the promises and then and catch. But in 2018, one more thing were added to it. So some people like this also, some people like that async await also. Both of them are same. You can use any one of them. So in that, this part is similar, but the thing is which is different here is this part, how we do it. So let us see that thing. Okay. So again, I'll copy this all. Oh, not a wait a sec. Daily someone is coming. Sorry. Someone is daily spamming. Okay. So yeah, Mahesh, we are going to use that only. Okay. To copy this and I'll go to JSBin. So now we look into async await. Now here what will happen? So here everything is similar like this, only the promise will be sent, but it means that the backend code will be same, but the front end code will be a bit different. We don't have anything like a then and a catch block. Okay, and some people prefer this, some people prefer that. Both of them are equal, as I told. Sometime I'm going to tell the way by which we'll hit the API endpoint. That is a very important way, and we're going to see how to do that. So for that, for async await, what happened? We have to wrap this in a function. So function init, I'll do like this, and then I have to wrap this all in a function. So I'll cut it and paste it here. Now what will happen? Now I have to call the init. So if I call the init like this will have no effect because this is a normal function. Create post is done and all those things. No effect is there. And the other thing is that I will call the get posts after that. Get post after this. So okay, again, if I run it like this, I'll show. If I run it like this, nothing will happen. It will only show the first two things after 2 seconds. Not even showing. Okay, it is not even showing because there is an error here. So it will again be running like this. But how to make it async await? Async await always say that you have to wrap it in a function, and that function you're going to make it as async. And this thing I will come here and do a wait. I'll do a wait here. I will await here, and then I will run with JS, and then see after 2 seconds the magic will come and this will run. So it is sort of when it goes here in the async await, it will await this next statement till this is over. So then only it will run. So this is how we do async await in JavaScript. So all these things are same, but that only the other thing that was different. Okay, so now one more thing I want to tell, and this thing is a pure backend kind of a code. And if you're going to do Node.js, you're going to find this code a lot, and that is like JSBin, and there is something known as promise at all. And this is a very very good interview question also. Okay, so that is there, and sync js promises dot on. Here I'll have a const promise one equal to promise dot resolve, and it will be heat. So we can actually send like this also, directly resolve also we can send. Okay, so then I'll have a promise 3 will be sleep, const promise 2 equal to new promise resolve reject, and set time out resolve 3000. And so this is another pattern to do it. Okay, so here I can also directly send a promise like this and set timeout and resolve 3000. Okay, so that is there, and then I'll come here and do this, and 4 is there, and then it is like 2, and repeat I'll do, then okay, then I'll do. So I have 4 promises. So there is a method known as promise.all. What happens? It will wait for all the promises. It will send all the promises, and it will wait for all the promises to happen, and then it will run in that order in which I pass in it. Okay. So see, I'll do a promise.all. I have to pass it in an array like this. Promise 1, comma, promise 2, comma, promise 3, comma, promise 4 dot, then values document dot body dot inner html equal to so this is like this. I will do the values will come. Okay, so I will do a run with JS, and it is coming after 3 seconds. The slowest one of this is 3 seconds, so it will do in that order. Eat, code, sleep, repeat. It will do in the same order. Okay, so that is there, and then okay. So we'll now look into a very important thing here, which is like the main way. If we're going to do a front end code, how we are going to do a API call. So this is a very important part. So if you don't even understand all the things which I've told today, understand this thing, because and if you want to be a front end developer, the front end developer use this kind of code a lot. See the promise and all, as I've told you, this promise thing happens in the backend. So if you don't understand this, don't understand it. Just understand it. All the API endpoints gives us what gives us a promises. They returns us promises, so we cannot directly use it. Okay, so like this, the famous API endpoint is JSON placeholder. So I'll go to this. Actually, I'll go to this users endpoint. So what it does, it gives us the data like this, but I cannot just copy paste it in some call this thing and I'll get the data back. No, I'll not get the data back, because this API endpoint, this gives me data as a promise. It returns me data as a promise, and we have something special to use it. So we have something like a fetch API. We have something like a fetch API in the browser, and fetch API is again a new thing. It was introduced in 2015. Before that, it was a bit difficult to do that thing. There were some other things. So in vanilla JavaScript, we do it through this fetch API, and in React, we do it through fetch API also. And there are some other popular library like Axios. We do it through that. So I'll go here and do a async await and fetch. So when it returns something, returns a promise, just like it returns a promise like this, then I have to use it. I can use it in the async await also. I can use it with then and catch also. Okay, so I'll show that async await maybe in the future course, because if you next week is React.js week, maybe there I will show the then and catch also. Okay, so that is there, and we're going to hit this endpoint. Okay, so we're going to hit this endpoint and get all the users here. So as you know, in async await, we have to make a function and fetch users. I have to do like this, fetch users, and then I have to make this as a sync. I have to make, and then const res equal to, there is a format for async await. Okay, here, so await format for the fetch API. So fetch API, you have to write this fetch keyword. You have to write this fetch keyword, and it is await because it is getting a promise. And then in this fetch, I have to write this. Okay, write this thing like this, and then const data. The thing is that with async await, the problem is that you have to do a two-time await. Okay, that is in int format. Okay, this is a like a boilerplate code, because it directly don't return it. We get a JSON object back, and we have to do it like this. It is mandatory. Okay, so this I've done, and now after this, we can get the data like this only. Okay, like this only I'll get. Let me copy paste it, guys. I will make some mistake, I know. So let output post. Okay, I don't need. First thing is that there is no post. This is a data, so data will come, and it's better to make it as item and output h4 item dot name and email. I don't know name and email. I'll go to show name and item dot email. I'm going to do, and this is okay. Now I have to call this also fetch users like this. I'm going to call it, and then I'll run it. After it is coming, all the data is coming from our API endpoint. So this is how we hit the API endpoint. So that is done. Now what we are going to do, so we're done with the async JavaScript. Okay, so we are going to learn. Okay, we're going to learn ES6 now. Okay, ES6, as I told a lot about ES6, and it's trying to learn about ES6. So ES6 is what? ES is ECMAScript 6. ECMA is the next generation for JavaScript, released in 2015. ECMA technical committee, it was added the new features into JavaScript, because ECMA technical committee runs JavaScript. JavaScript scientific name or real name is ECMAScript only. So most features of ES6 now run in all browser as of 2000 to 2020, because it is like 7 years. Okay, so exception of IE11 is actually retired. Okay, so ES6, when it was when some new features comes is released by JavaScript team, means ECMA team, it is not always the all browser implemented the next day. It takes time, and now it is 7 years. Everything is implemented. I still remember we didn't have to used to have all of these things like this cutting edge things at the start, the spread operator and all those things, and that is where React used to shine. In React, internally it does all these things like with Babel compiler and all these things. You can use all this advanced feature you can use from day one in something like React, Angular, Vue. So that is the thing. Also, they are used a lot. Okay, vanilla JavaScript, it is a bit difficult. So there are some other things like this behavioral transfer and all those things. So through that you can do. Okay, so now let us quickly start it because we don't have time, because this will take next day also. So let var and const. Okay, so with let we can finally able to use the block scoping in JavaScript. So I'm not going to tell some of the things I have already covered. So the things which I have already covered, I'm not going to tell them. So let, we have let and var, the difference between them we have already seen. So let is the block scoping and var was having the functional scoping, and we've seen the difference there. So const also we have seen the const, you assign a value, you cannot assign it again. But there is another very big difference in const, and that is what we are going to see. See, it is written for const we cannot assign a new value to a variable after the initial declaration for primitive types like integer and string, but we can add values for non-primitive types like arrays and object. What does that mean? So let us do, what does that mean? JSBin, I'll do JSBin, but this time I'm going to do JavaScript and console. Okay, so JavaScript and console I'm going to do. Then we are going to see the const we are going to see. So in const, what is there? Const first age equal to 6. Then I cannot do like first age equal to 8. Okay, I'm gonna do this in const, and it will give me error. Okay, this is not possible. This is not possible. But what is possible? Okay, let us do that. Const child ages equal to 5, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 5, 6, 8. Then I'll do. And now again, if I suppose I want to add a child age of 12 to it. So if I try to do it like this, child ages, comma 12, it will again give me error. It is not possible. But what is possible, and most of the time we don't add something in the array like this. What is possible, we can use a push pop, all those methods we can use in the const. So I will come here and do a child ages dot push 12 I'm going to do, and then console dot log child ages. I'm going to clear it, run it. So see, this 12 has been added here. Okay, 12 has been added here, and the child has been done. So this is quite possible. Now objects are one step further. In object, what happens, you can add a new key value pair also, and you can update a key value pair also. So let us see what does that mean. In the object we will go const person obj equal to name is Navendu, comma skill is like JS, and then what I can do here, person obj dot skill equal to React. So what I'm doing here, I'm adding the skill of I'm updating the skill of React, and I can also add a new key value pair, person obj dot profession equal to trainer. So now if I do console dot log person obj, and this ES6 is very much important before React. So if you, even if you don't understand much of JavaScript, understand ES6 a lot, because this is a must for React, which you are going to do next week. So if I clear it and run it, you're going to see this object, always ignore it, this profession has been added and this skills has been updated. So this is, all these things are quite possible here. So that is done. Now what we are going to do, let us see what is there after this. Fat arrow function we already learned in the JavaScript part, so I'm not going to do it again. So let me close it. Now the next thing is that default parameters we're going to run. Okay, what is open? Default parameters is not open. Default parameters is what? Default parameter is a new feature in ES6 again. So in default parameters, what happens, we can pass Some now default parameters value can be used in parameters which are taken when no values are being passed. Okay, when no values are being passed, and this is applied to both normal function and arrow function. So if you pass no values, then this will be done. Okay, so I have a space here. Let me do the default parameter here. Default parameters. First comment this out. I don't want so many consoles. So commenting this out, then this default parameters, what is this? And it is applied to both the arrow function and normal function, and I love to create arrow functions, so I'll do an arrow function. Const is equal to num1 comma num2, and like this, and I'm going to do, and I'll have a console dot log of num1 console dot log of num2 and return num1 equal to num2. Okay, num1 triple equal to num2 is there. Then I will come here and console dot log of is 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚, and I will pass suppose 10 comma 10. Clear it, run it. So 10 is getting passed here and 10 is getting passed into num2, and it is evaluating it. We can do like this, evaluating, and it is true, so it is giving it true. 10 is triple equal to 10 is true, it is giving true. But in JavaScript, what we can do, JavaScript is a loosely typed language. It is not like Java or something. I'm expecting two parameters, but I am passing only one parameter. This is quite possible in JavaScript, not possible in any other languages. Okay, quite possible in JavaScript. So 10 is going here, num2 is undefined, so definitely 10 is not equal to undefined, and it is false. And this is not a good practice, that if you're not sending something, okay, nothing is going, it is not a good thing. And this default parameters is very much used in React, in switch case, and a lot of cases, lot of use cases there. See, and we use it to our benefit also in React and other cases in JavaScript. Sometimes we don't pass anything, and sometime we pass something in from some other place. So this is something which JavaScript developer always uses. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it as 20. I'm going to make, clear it, run it. Now see, 10 is going in the num1, 20 is going in the num2, because I'm passing nothing. It will still be false, but it will be like this. But what will happen in this case, if I pass 10, it will override this 20. Okay, so this is what default parameters are all about. Okay, so the next thing which we are going to learn is object literal extension and dynamic field. Both of these things are very, very, very important. Object literal extension and dynamic field. In object literals, we can have the extension for key of an object. We're going to see what is object literal extension. I'm going to create a new thing here. JSBin, I'm going to do JSBin and JavaScript console. And this I'm going to do. We are doing object literals extension. Literals extension I'm going to do. So here what will happen? Suppose I have a object like let obj equal to name to age 39. I'm going to have this thing. Okay, then console dot log of obj, anyways it will work, there is no issue in this. But now I want to, a lot of times what happens, the value comes from the outside. The value will come from the outside. So I will have the value as let name equal to this, and let age equal to 29. I have this, and I will get rid of this. So I want to use this thing. Okay, so I'll come here and do the name here and do the age here. So see, this name is different and this name is different. This is the key and this is the value which is coming from the outside. If I run it, nothing different is there. And this is something which is before ES6, which was from earlier times only. Okay, so what is there in ES6? What is this object literal extension? Object literal extension is a shortcut. If you have something like this, actually I've intentionally taken it name like it's the same thing. We can remove this thing, and developers love shortcuts. All developers love shortcuts, and this is a shortcut. You will say, okay, I will not use this shortcut. A lot of my students say that, okay, this shortcut is very means it is it is not complicated, but it is not looking good, we're not liking it. But if your fellow developer like this, anyways, in one project there are 100 of and at least 10 people are going to work, and if they like it, they will put it. But you can do that. Okay, so this is there, and it will be the same only, no issue is there. Okay, so this is like a thing which is like a shortcut. Okay, some of the aesthetics things are shortcuts. Okay, so the next thing which we are going to see is your dynamic fits. We can assign dynamic value to a key. This is not a shortcut. This is a very important thing, and at a lot of places we use this thing, and this is known as dynamic fits. What are these dynamic fits? Let us see. Dynamic fields. Okay, so it is like let age field equal to age. Okay, why I'm taking this, I will tell. Let es6 obj, let es6 obj equal to name and now I want the age field, but instead of this age field I'll have this age field. Okay, and then I'll have a 39. Okay, so, and this is completely valid. Console.log of es6 obj. This one I will comment it out, clear it, run it, and see. Okay, it is still showing the old thing. Sometimes it doesn't refresh this thing. See, this is coming. So what is the benefit of it? See, I'm controlling the key. It is very complicated. It is not, it was not possible earlier. I'm controlling the key from outside, and this is a lot of this use case scenario will be in a lot of places where we are going to do this thing. Okay, a lot of places we are going to do this thing where the HP, where something we are going to connect control from outside, and this is a very good thing. This is a means like earlier it saves at least 50 lines of code. So this is something which we are going to use a lot. Okay, and a lot of it is not a shortcut, but it can replace a lot of code. But because we are going to control it from the outside, maybe from the server it is coming, maybe some from somewhere else it is coming. See, this age I have written here, so in the dynamically it is changing to the age. I can write anything here, so it will do that thing. Okay, do that thing. Okay, so this is like this, it will run. So this is done. Now, okay, one sec. Let me give the attendance form. Yeah. So that is there. So now what we're going to do, so we are at least going to finish this thing. After this, your rest and spread operator. So rest, what is this rest operator? Rest operator, we can pass argument to a function and it gets converted to an array. Okay, so this rest operator we're going to learn now. So, and this is a very, especially the spread operator is used a lot. Rest operator is also good, but spread operator is used a lot. So JSBin I'm going to go, and JavaScript and console I'm going to go, and then I'm going to do the rest operators. Okay. Then what does the rest operator do? As it is done, we can pass argument to function and it gets converted to an array. Okay, it gets converted to an array. So let arr func is like this, and suppose I'm passing to this arr function, I'm passing something like 1, okay, like 8, 2, 1, 6, 5. Okay, I'm passing this. Now I want this to be converted to an array. So how to do that? How to do that? Maybe before ESS, how to do that? So I have to take some parameters like a comma. There are a lot of parameters, a comma b comma c comma d comma e. There are 5 parameters are here. I'll do that, and then I'll go inside. Okay, and I'll do a let tmp equal to this, and what I can do. Okay, tmp dot push a tmp dot push b c d e. I'm going to do, and then console dot log of tmp. This is not a very good solution. This I'm telling what we used to do earlier. I'll do this and it will be converted to an array. Okay, this is something which is the earlier we used to do, but now we don't do it like this. Okay, so now, okay, what we do, actually let me have this code here. This will help a lot of you. Okay, so let arr f2nc. So, and another problem with this code is that suppose I increase the parameter, then I have to increase it. So I cannot know, miss, if someone increases the parameter, then I have to write another 10-15 lines of code to first check the length and all those things I have to do. So this is not a good code, not at all a good code, because I don't know how many items will be passed. Maybe I don't know. 5 can also be passed, 10 can also be passed. So what is the better way? Better way is through ES6. Okay, ES6, what happens like this. Again, I am going to do, and there is something known as a rest operator. Rest operator is always used in the parameters. So I'll come here and do a dot 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 arr. I can take any name. A also I can take. It doesn't matter. Dot 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 arr I will take, and then I'll do a console dot log and arr. It got converted to an array actually. Let it, run it. I'll get this, and it doesn't matter here. I can do like this. 9 also I can add it. Anything I can add it, and this 9 will be added. So this is how powerful this rest operator is there. Okay, rest operator we can use another thing also, like in the rest operator, like I will have this. Suppose I don't want everything to be converted to an array, then what to do? Rest func equal to, okay, first let me have this thing like this. Okay, then suppose I'm passing like this, and rest function I'm going to do, I'm passing this rest function. Okay, now it is like a, I don't want everything. Suppose I want the first 3 parameters and the rest of them to be converted to an array. So I'll do a b c, and I don't know what is the I know it is more than 3 elements will be there in this, and the rest of them I want to convert to an array. So dot dot dot, and as I told, I can do anything. So then I'll do just, I got it, console.log a comma b comma c and console dot log n, and I'll clear it and run it. See, 821 and 659 it is coming. Okay, so it doesn't matter, it can be, means after this can be 10 also, and 15 also, 13 also, it doesn't matter, everything it will convert to like this. Okay, so this is what is this rest operator is all about, and we'll end today here because there is not much thing, there are some things remaining like spread operator, which is actually much more used than the rest operator. Then there are array and object destructuring, very important. Classes is there, classes were introduced in ES6. And then the most important thing is the array helper method. Array helper methods are very important in ES6 because they are used a lot in React and every other place. Every modern JavaScript it will be used. So those things are very much important. And we'll see that tomorrow, last day. Maybe if you get some time, we'll do a small JavaScript project again. Maybe some API call project we are going to do. Because we've already done one JavaScript project which we got sometime yesterday, and did one small convert app. If you want to see more project, there are more project on my channel, you can go and do all the JavaScript projects. Okay, so this is there, and with this I will end this stream.